With that win tonight, you are now tied for the most wins in the middleweight division in UFC history. Who are you tied with?
There we go. I'm coming for that record, Mike.
Brad Tavares!
Watch that spin there. I mean, that is about as perfect as it gets. You cannot retreat from the pocket with your hands low like that.
Your winner by way of knockout, he is the pride of St. Louis, Charles Energy Johnson!
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered. Please tell me that's on video. I've never been happier. I'm made for a fucking podcast. That's dangerous. Listen to me, we're at it.
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered, a UFC and Fanatics original production. Good show today, man. We have Charles Johnson after that fantastic KO, making his first appearance on our show, number 50 flyweight, and also Brad Tavares returns. His next fight is against Robert Brychek, and that is September the 6th, UFC Paris on the prelims. And I think Brad is in the waiting room. But before we get to him, we should just say what a great card this was. There was some really, really good, interesting fights. What did you think of, and again, we can get into detail after. What did you think of Aljamain and Ortega? Ortega, Aljo looked really good on his feet and fought a very smart fight. But it was one of these two experts on the ground, and they don't go down at all.
Well, man, I don't think there was a reason for Aljo to even go down. You shoot on it. You shoot in on Brian Ortega, there could be a guillotine waiting for you. He's very, with Renato Moicano that time in a close fight. Shot in, got guillotined. But Aljo did grapple at times.
Yeah.
And I thought it was masterful. Come on, man. I mean, he went out of there. I got hiccups all of a sudden. Besides the elbow, which blew up on him. He has an elbow, did something to his elbow.
Yeah.
Man, he doesn't look like he's been in a fight. He is good at hitting and not getting hit, Aljo.
Yeah, he fought it. It was a really smart fight. And Ortega had a very tough weight cut and missed weight. They fought at a catch weight, and he looked really sluggish. It was probably a very, very bad camp for him, or something happened. I don't know what happened.
Man, we got
Brad Tavares. Yeah, let's bring him in.
Yeah, man. What would he say when somebody's stuck up again? What was that word he said?
Conceited?
No, it's something different in
Hawaiian, is it?
In Hawaiian. And he told me last time.
Hi, Maka Maka.
Hi, Maka Maka.
Thank you. They told me that.
Oh, I thought you knew it.
No.
I don't like when people are all like, hi, Maka Maka. There he is.
Hey.
Oh, you remember that? You told us that.
Bro, it's so funny. Right before we got on this call after training, when I was showering, that for whatever reason that popped into my head. Hi, Maka Maka. I was thinking about you guys.
That is so funny, man. I love that shit because around here, little spoiled Long Island kids, a little stuck up. I'm just gonna be like, they're hi Maka Maka, these little fuckers. Right?
That's exactly what it. Yep.
So if you say that to somebody, do you say you're being hi Maka Maka, or do you just say hi? How would you say that to somebody if they were being like a conceited asshole?
Okay, so if I was talking to the person themselves and I was like, trying to give them crap, like they're acting like that, I'd be like, oh, hi Maka Maka. Like, how we talk in Pidgin, everything is broken down. Yeah. If I was explaining somebody to you, like talking to you and Matt, and I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm explaining this guy or girl. I'm like, yeah. His hi Maka Maka, or she was hi Maka Maka, then you guys would know exactly like,
yeah,
okay, you guys would know the person I was dealing with.
Yeah.
I like that.
Is that a big insult? That's a big insult.
I can be, but I mean, there's worse things, I guess.
I suppose.
Brad, does it feel like forever ago that you were on The Ultimate Fighter?
Yes and no. Like I remember going through that like it was yesterday. Honestly, one of the greatest experiences I've had in my career and just in my life, No, yeah, it was. It was a great experience.
A lot of people like, I did it, but I hated it. And tell me, I
so
agree with
now,
you.
so now fast forward. I fast forward to where I am. So when I was there, I was 21, 22, I think. I had no real responsibilities, no wife, no kids, none of that. Right. So I was living life. I was like, hey, this is awesome. I don't have to worry about a thing. Like just cleaning up after myself, washing my clothes, washing my dishes, which I'm fine with. I didn't have to go shopping. I didn't have to worry about showing up to work. None of that. Literally, I tested it one day. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sleep in and I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna see if they just leave me here. Like I don't feel like training today. I'm gonna just sleep. I'm not setting an alarm. I told my roommates, don't wake me up. Just let me sleep. So I tried to sleep in and the producers came in. They're like, hey, Brad, you gotta wake up. We gotta go to training. And I was like, nah, I'm not gonna go today. They're like, no, you gotta go. And I was like, all right. And they're in a rush. Like now looking back at it, I was being high maka maka, I guess.
Ah, a
But
little bit.
yeah, they're all waiting on me, and I was like, hey, this is great. Like, there was nothing, like nothing could go wrong, I guess, and you just got to focus on training. Food was free, living was free.
Yeah.
But now I fast forward to where I am in life. I'm 37 now, wife, kids, all of that, and bro, that would kill me to be away from them and not be able to speak to them and see them. Like now I get it for those guys that were older. Because when I was in there, I was 21, 22, and there were guys in their early 30s that had kids, wives, and all of that. And now I get it from their viewpoint. I can see it through their eyes. Like that was rough. That sucked. That I get it.
You guys are not allowed to watch like no news or anything from the outside world, right?
Nothing. So at that time, like a couple seasons later, they ended up doing like your family could come watch you fight. You had access to social media, all of these other things. When we were in there, you were cut off completely. You couldn't talk to anybody, watch anything, none of that.
Do you think that they let people do it? I'll ask both of you guys because as this generation has come up, people are more and more addicted to it, and they're more and more intolerant of being away from it. I wonder if it became a necessary evil to have to deal with. Like people just can't handle being away from it.
Yeah, I think so. Like, what do you mean? Like, just like your phone in general?
Why you say they're letting people now like do like social media and stuff like that?
Oh,
It's
no,
such an addiction.
well, I think what it really is because social media is a monster, right? And
Yeah.
it's like the best marketing ever. So they're tapping into that, which is smart. They're like, hey, we're gonna get all of these guys, and they'll be out there tweeting and talking about it, and it'll bring more eyes to our show.
Right.
It'll get people involved, and the fans out there, they always love to have any type of interaction. So for a fan to be able to like be watching a show and be able to like tweet, I don't even know how they do the shows now, but I remember when they did that live one, you know what I mean? Like it was I think they had access to social media, and so they basically could talk to fans and stuff. So as a fan, these fans, they're diehard, they're crazy, some of them, and they eat that up.
Shoot, man, I was in there at 31, not 21, but I was engaged. I didn't have kids either. I think it's the kids that'll get
The kids, yeah,
You know what I mean?
for sure.
I'm
For
glad I
sure.
wasn't in there with kids. I would have been a emotional mess myself.
Same. I would have not been able to do it. Or
But
I would have done it if I had to, but the experience 100% wouldn't have been the same.
True.
You know what?
Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, you go, Matt. Go.
Well, I was going to say, what is he saying here? Speaking of kids, his daughters are both doing jujitsu from my producer. How old are your kids? Your daughters?
7 and 3. So the oldest is 7, and then the baby is 3. So the 3-year-old, we have a great program. Coach Bryce Harley and Bethany Bates, they run it at Extreme Couture. It's minis. It's 3 to 6-year-olds. Really introductory. It's just 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it's 30 minutes, 4:30 to 5, which is excellent because bro, past 30 minutes, like some of these kids, my daughter including, like their attention spans, don't stretch that far. Like they see all the other people in the gym kicking bags, people they know, the aunties and the uncles coming in, and my daughter's like, I want to go play. Like I want to see this person, that person. So the 30 minutes is perfect. And the coaches, Bryce and Beth, they do an excellent job. Like I always credit them. I'm like, dude, I don't know how you guys like. I have a hard enough time with my one daughter trying to teach her something for
Yeah.
30 minutes, and you guys have 15 to 20 kids at once. All of these little like 3, 4, 5 year olds all
That's
together, and they do an excellent job. So yeah, shout out
that's
to them.
that's very cool, man. I find we start them at 8, and then some of them sneak in a little younger, but it gets a little rough when they're young. I like to
Yeah.
teach jujitsu, not
Yep.
because then it becomes like, romper room, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I never used
No.
to teach it until my kids started doing it. Now I'm teaching some classes because they're in it.
So for the little ones, the minis, it's
Yeah.
a lot of it like they do a little technique here and there and show them more positional stuff, not really
Yeah.
submissions. Some of the little bit older kids that are kind of smaller but getting ready to go into the regular jiu-jitsu class, they'll show them some submissions. But for the most part, it's like wrestling and
Yeah.
positional stuff. And it's just really, it really is just them. One, it's fun, and two, it's them learning how to be part of a class and a team and taking and following instruction.
And you're also comfortable. You become comfortable like with another body pressed against you, or holding somebody. Like, so then when you do start to take class, you've already had a year of feeling somebody's body weight on you.
Yep.
Or these little things that take adjusting. And I think UFC is so good at, because you guys are talking about the house. It's so good at getting people interested in fighters before they're even really fighting in the UFC, like a contender series, looking for a fight, all of these things that get people invested in liking or disliking a fighter before they're even a name in the UFC. It's really a smart way to do it. So all these young fighters are coming in with a name already kind of attached to them.
No, yeah, 100%. The UFC has done a great job, Dana White and the rest of the marketing team on tapping into that. I think they've seen it early on when everybody, and it had to with Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner, the way that fight went, the finale fight. That's what really did it too, because people loved them, fell in love with them as people and fighters. But it was really that fight at the end that really like captivated them. Without that, it wouldn't be the same. But yeah, the UFC does a great job. They get it, you know what I mean? Like they see where the world and culture and all of that is going and how it's evolved, and they're tapping into it.
I'll tell you, Brad, a lot of guys, they came in after you and left before you. You got some longevity, man. You're doing all right. I mean, you've been in the UFC now for over a decade.
This is your 27th fight?
Right?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, so 2010 is when I got in, and we're in what, 2025, so 15 years now.
Dude, that's and it's not like you're a guy in there that's like, oh, he's hanging on and maybe we've seen his best days. How do you stay so motivated? Like, because you're still coming in fresh. Like, you know what I mean? You don't look weathered. Which is a good thing.
One is, taking care of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of it. You got to take care of yourself, because if you let one of the areas lack, then all of them will lack. So you got to take care of your body, your mind. The other thing is, I do have a genuine love for what I do, and it's not just the fighting part of it. Like, I love the everyday part of it. I love going to the gym and training with the boys and the camaraderie. When I was growing up in high school, football was my number one sport. And when we got towards the end, like senior year, I played a year of junior college, which just fizzled out. But I knew, like, towards the end of my senior year that I may never experience this ever again, like the locker room vibes. And I feel like, although this is an individual sport, the everyday aspect of it is very much of a team sport, and you get that camaraderie that you had in the football locker room with the boys and stuff. And getting ready for a game is kind of like when you and one of your boys has a fight very close together. You guys are in camp together, going through the grind together. Or even sometimes you get lucky enough to be blessed to fight on the same card as one of your teammates. So that's kind of the same feeling, and that's kind of driving. But, I've always said to myself, like, I've always been very real with myself as well, that when I feel myself, when that fire and desire, that motivation is no longer there, I'm not just hanging on for a paycheck anymore, you know, because there's life after fighting. I got kids, you know, I want to be around for them long after this is done.
What's the first time in, 'cause you have such a long career so far? You know that you're tied with Bisping, right? For most wins
Yeah.
in weight at 16. Again, I know this is just another fight coming up, but still, it'd
Yeah.
be nice. And even if it doesn't happen, you're 37, and 37 now is different than it was when you came in. 37 now, there's still quite a few years left of fighting. It seems like the training is different, and there's so many medical advancement that guys are fighting a lot longer than they did 15 to 20 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was very Matt can probably tell you this when he started and back in those days, it was literally you either had it or you didn't, you know. And now the sport has like come such a long way. The technologies, the recovery, just the knowledge in the sport of how to prolong your career, I guess you could say. And the recovery is a huge part of that, you know, is being smart with your body, not just running yourself into the ground, you know, the science behind it. And me, like, I'm not like a super sciencey guy. I still believe that you got to have some dog in you. But if you can have your training to where the science meets that dog, then I think you can be very successful and you can avoid injuries. You know, sometimes injuries are unavoidable, but if you take care of yourself, you're that much further ahead of the curve.
Are you a wake up in the morning ice bath guy or no?
Yes, I am.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Only for camp, or is this
Every day, part of my life.
Oh, you
I
like
love
Dana
it.
White with that.
Yeah.
Dana loves
No,
that shit.
oh, I love it, and I swear by it. It's probably one of in the last couple years, I would say is like the greatest things I've added, like the single most greatest thing that I've added to my
Really?
everyday life and just recovery in general.
And how long do you
work? Yeah, it's Matt and I.
Uh, so it just all depends. In the beginning, I was always in there 8, 10, 12 minutes, and I would come out like a ice pop, you know, freezing, which I don't know, I kind of get a kick out of that feeling. But I started, you know, I was like, you know what, let me do the research and blah blah blah. And there's a bunch of guys, and I think that guy that Dana goes to, what is his name? Brecka? Is that his name? Gary Brecka or something? One of the doctors that Dana was doing that. I don't know. Anyway, so he did like a bunch of research on it, and he was saying, okay, so the optimal time is or the science shows that 3 to 6 minutes. You know, you stay in there at least 3 minutes, but there's no science past 6 minutes. So I'll stay in there anywhere from 3 to 6 minutes. But on days that I'm feeling really banged up, like the other day, maybe like 2 days ago, I was feeling kind of banged up. I stayed in there for 10 minutes. Sometimes the longest I've stayed in there is 30 minutes. And I just like kind
Is
of
it
like,
a tub of ice or is it ice water? How you do, or do you have a machine?
so I have a machine. So I have a chiller. So I have an inflatable tub. It's kind of like those inflatable, same material as like those inflatable paddle boards. If you've ever seen those? Yeah. And it's just shaped like a tub. I keep my water in it, and then I have a chiller. My chiller is running 24/7. And I keep it at 37 degrees. That's the coldest mine goes. Yeah, 37 degrees.
Oh man, dude. I think Dana does it at 50 degrees.
Yeah,
Not saying, you know, softer
so
than
yeah,
that.
so that Gary Brecka guy, I think that's his name. I'm not sure, but he in his research he was saying, yeah, there's no so 3 to 6 minutes is the optimal time, and there's no evidence showing that anything less than 50 degrees is doing anything more for your body. But for me personally, as an athlete, I notice like when the water is colder at like that 37-degree mark, when I stay in there, after I come out, my body feels so much more better. And that's just me personally. I don't know if it's my body is more dense or what,
Well,
but
they also don't forget they use ice cubes, which are freezing. When fighters would get hurt, you freeze something with ice. So it makes sense to go down to the 30s.
yeah. So I remember when what is that thing called? Cryotherapy came around. It was kind of like a big fad for a little while, and I was like, oh, you know what? Let me go try it. So we had a spot out here. Went to go try it, and I didn't like it at all. I was sitting in there. I was like, yeah, this is cold, but I can stay in here. But that one, they're like, oh no, you can't stay in there too long because you could die. Which shortly after, there's a spot out here. They closed down, but one of their employees actually passed away in the cryo
How?
chamber.
Didn't he
She
pass
went.
out or something in there? Something
Yes,
weird
it was
happened.
it was a girl. She
Yeah.
went in like after hours. She was like closing up. I guess she wanted to hop in, and I think she stayed in too long or whatever, and the fumes or whatever, she passed out. And they came the next morning and they found her frozen to death in there.
Good God, man.
I remember
Yeah,
that story.
sad.
There should be an It's like getting locked into a refrigerated room. There should be some type of an automatic thing that cuts
Yeah, like a shutdown.
a shutdown after 4 minutes or whatever, so you can,
Yeah.
You don't hear about Jimmy. You don't hear about people passing out in the ice baths, though. You don't hear about that ever.
No.
Nah.
You know?
Then you jump out. You just jump out. It's different
Yeah.
from a room where you have to get up. Because I've done cryotherapy, but the one I went to, they didn't have the whole room. They only had the one up to your neck. It was like a capsule.
That's
Yeah.
what I just did in
And it
Columbia.
sucked. But my head was out of it, so it was a little easier, I think.
Yeah. But what I noticed after that session, because you go in for like 3 minute sessions at whatever below freezing. And afterwards, I was like, yeah, it's cold. But like after I left there, I was like, my body doesn't feel like any rejuvenation. Like it was only my skin that felt cold. Like when I get in an ice bath or a cold plunge, to me, that sinks down to like my bones. Like actually feel it. And I actually feel the anti-inflammatory benefits of it.
That's what they say. It just takes out all the inflammation. I'm such a pussy. I got to start doing this. I had a bad experience, Brad. I did it on Dana White looking for a fight, and he had it like at 33 or 34. I don't know how you do it at 37. And I'm like, look, I would have jumped out if they weren't filming me. I'm like, I would give years of my life not to feel this right now. It was fucking horrible. It was. Maybe I'm a big pussy.
How long were you in?
3 minutes at like 33 degrees, and it was fucking brutal.
Hey, at least you did the 3 minutes. You know how many of my friends have come over here and like, hey, I want to do your ice bath. Most recently was my nephew. He's 17.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, uncle, like jump in your ice bath. I was like, yeah, okay. It's going to be cold. And I talked him through it. You know, he doesn't really do this type of stuff, but he seemed pretty confident. So I told him, I was like, hey, it's going to be freezing cold, but when you get in there, the best way to go about it is sink yourself all the way to your neck. Because when you try to like gradually go in a little, like that's way harder in my opinion. Just numb your body out. So he got in, he did that, and then he looked like he was okay. And then I was keeping the time on my phone, and then I showed it to him. I was like, oh, okay, good. You're 30 seconds in. I think me showing him that was only 30 seconds, he started panicking. So he started freaking out. He's like, oh, no, uncle, I gotta get out. I gotta get out. So he got out. I'm die laughing at this point. He gets out. He's like bent over, like folded in half. He's like, uncle, I can't even stand up. You gotta hold me up, bro. I'm dying.
That's
I'm
funny.
dying. I know. And every single time, I always like, I'm like, you know what? I need to start recording these things so people can laugh with me.
Hey, how do you control? This is the hard part of that for me. Like I've done those. It's this weird breathing thing, like where I can't breathe. It's hard to catch your breath when you're that cold, like an ice shower. How do you control the breathing?
So I think that I'm so accustomed because I've been doing the ice. We have one at Couture's, and then when they open the PI, they have a cold plunge there. So this is something that I've been doing for literally for years. It's just that now with the whole wave of cold plunges, it's so much more accessible. And now I have one at my house. So I think I'm pretty used to it. I can't even remember back when the first ice bath I've ever done. Actually, I do remember the first ice bath I've ever done. We had like a whirlpool machine. It was in high school. And the athletic trainer, Calais, she was like, hey, you got to get in there. I was like, okay. So I get in there. I'm like, oh, this is freezing. And then what made it worse is in that whirlpool one, there's like a switch that spins the water. And dude, I was probably hyperventilating, like how you say. But now I'm so used to it that I don't know. I get in, I just breathe normally. If you guys ever hop on my Instagram, I make these videos every day with this old filter, and it's like a character. But the reason why I do it, like people get a kick out of it. But the reason why I do it is because the time that it takes me to make that video and post it is like helping me kill the time. Like every time I shoot one, by the time I'm done, like taking it from Snapchat, putting it over to Instagram and whatever, I'm already 3, 4 minutes in. So I'm like, it's I don't even think about it.
Keeping yourself
So it
occupied.
helped.
Yeah.
Yes, keeping myself occupied. But hey,
That's the way to do it.
there is something that I just started doing this camp, and that thing, like, I swear by it too, and it's crazy. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's called blue scorpion venom.
I take that for my belly because I have
Bro,
ulcerative colitis.
yep.
John Rollo, my good buddy who does Rogan with me, he gave
Do
me
you?
that blue scorpion.
Yep.
Yeah,
Do
you
you
take a
like
little
it?
vial of it,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Bro, that thing,
Why do
like,
you take that? What do you take that
uh,
for?
so the whole thing behind it is for pain and it's like an anti-inflammatory, and so
Yeah.
I just take it. So my friend Flex Lewis, I had met the owners at his anniversary. This was like back in April earlier this year, and they were telling me about it, and I was like, "Hey, I just got one question. Is it like USADA drug-free sport approved?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, this is all natural homeopathic." And I was like, "Say less, sign me up. I'll sign me up, give it to me." And they're like, "Oh, we don't have any right now." I was like, "Okay, well, let me know when you do." So anyhow, fast forward a couple of months, Flex ends up getting a surgery on his elbow, and he started taking it to help with the inflammation. And I had asked him, I said, "So what, bro? How do you like it?" And he's like, "Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if it's all in my mind, but I really feel like it's helping." And I was like, "Hey, I'm one of those guys too. As long as I believe it's helping me, it's helping me."
Yeah.
So I ended up reaching out to them again, and we talked, and I got some, and they walked me through it. They're like, "Hey, you're a little bit a bigger guy, so on the instructions it says take this amount, but they're like, you can take more because you do like more physically demanding stuff. So they're like, take more, that's completely fine." So I started doing it, and right away I started like I did a really hard workout, and I was like, okay, for sure I'll be sore tomorrow. Next day I was like, oh, I'm not sore. Then I was like, okay, it's usually the 2 day mark, you're usually more sore
Yeah.
2 days later. So 2 days later, and I worked out hard again the very next day because I'm like, I'm trying to put this stuff to the test. The following day, 2 days later from when I started taking it, nothing. And I've been taking it this entire camp and feeling great. Like days where I feel banged up at the end of the day, and I'm like, oh, tomorrow I am gonna pay for this. I know I'm gonna wake up feeling like just old and crippled. And I'll wake up tired. Don't get me wrong, I'm tired until I get my caffeine. But body wise, I'm like, dude, my body feels fresh. My body feels great. So
Is it a pill
between
you take?
it's oral, it's liquid.
Liquid, okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a liquid. So between the cold plunge and the blue scorpion venom, those two things have been like game changers for me.
It's got to feel good, anytime, and I've been there, you get a couple losses in a row, and then you got your next fight coming up. It's like, shit, man, I love my job, but I don't want 3 in a row. And you didn't. You got back on the horse. You took out Gerald Mershaw.
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel a lot more relaxing now going into battle in Paris in a couple of weeks, where it's like, all right, I got the monkey off my back. It gives me a little more breathing room compared to feeling like, all right, they know I'm always entertaining. I don't think I'm on the chopping block, but I don't want 3 in a row. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah,
I've been there.
yeah.
I've been there, Brad.
Yep. Yep, 100%. But that being said, that last fight, I I knew that I was like, you know what? I'm very real. I know that the UFC is a business, and I am coming off of 2 losses. I am that, and the Meerschaert fight, we took a gamble. That was the last fight of my contract. So we're like, you know what? Let's take a gamble, because it's either do we renegotiate for less or whatever, because coming off of 2 losses, oh, he's
Yeah.
older, or do you bet on yourself? And I was like, you know what, like between my management and I, we're like, yeah, let's just fight it on and see how it goes.
It's
Smart.
even more
And
pressure, man, coming
yeah,
off of 2 losses. Then you had your contract up. How'd that feel going into that?
it's one of those things. I'm a very spiritual person, like I'm a Christian. So I know that God and Jesus has always got my back, and I just lay it at their feet. And it was something, I didn't have to put too much pressure on myself. I knew that no matter what, that they would get me, that I would get through it, and they would get me through it. God would get me through it. And he did. And here I am now.
Well, look, before Robert Brycek is your next fight, and are you in Paris right now, or are you heading over there?
No, I'm still at home. I'm in Vegas. I just finished training at Couture's. We leave on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we are partnered with Fanatics. So we've been asking fighters, because you guys, a lot of times you're fighting guys that you really admire. If there's any athlete, even if he's not a fighter, living or dead, that you could get an autograph from, if there was just one guy or a woman, who would it be?
Ooh, that is a good one. Ooh, get an autograph from. Man, there's so many that come to mind. I honestly, I think the easiest one, who I think is like the athlete of all athletes, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool one, Michael Jordan. And then my head just instantly goes to like former Raider greats, like Jack Tatum,
Lyle Alzado.
Bo Jackson, like
He was a good actor, wasn't he?
Lyle Alzado? I don't know if he acted or not. If he played many, many years ago, yeah. Yeah, when's the first time you fought a guy that you really looked up to? There had to be the first one who you were like, wow, I can't believe I'm in the cage with this guy.
fought a guy I really looked up to. Maybe Nate Marquardt could have been one of them. Even Phil Baroni, like that was so early on in my career. I was like, damn, I'm fighting Phil Baroni. I watched this guy. It's funny, before he even got into like MMA and stuff, I remember seeing him on, I think it was like Spike TV, and they had yeah, I think it was called like Tough Man. Yes, the boxing one. And he was on that, and I remember seeing him and his persona, and then shortly after that I remember seeing him in MMA, and then I ended up actually training with him in Vegas, which was pretty cool early on in my career. And then shortly after that we ended up fighting. So yeah, I would say probably him, probably Baroni. And then after that, the next guy who I thought was like such a great fighter, and it was awesome to be in the cage with him, was probably Nate Marquardt.
Yeah.
That's wild, man. If you want to see Baroni now, he's in prison. But hey,
I know.
Listen, man, you make tough choices out there. I mean, that guy, bad choices, it's all about the choices you make. Yeah. And we didn't make those choices. And I'll tell you right now, Brad, we always love watching you fight, man. Yes. Is this your first time going to Paris?
First time in Paris, never been.
Dude, win. Seeing the world, kicking ass. Shit, yeah, ice baths, blue scorpion.
Living the dream. This fight, man. I want to see you get this record. So good luck for you. Hopefully you get your 17th UFC win. And either way, have a good fight.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you. It's always a pleasure being on the show. Thank you, guys.
You're the opposite of Hi Maka Maka. You're just a down-to-earth Hawaiian, man. We love talking to you, Brad.
You know that.
Take care,
you guys
Brad.
have a good one. All right, guys.
All right, warrior. Take care.
Yeah. I really like Brad Tavares a lot. He's great. And he's made me want to try cold plunges again.
Hi, Maka Maka.
I got a little bruise from training recently. Nothing to worry about.
Oh, show me your war wound.
Just a little.
It's Charles in here.
Let's see. Can you see it?
Oh, Jimmy, you probably are wearing shorts all around. People go, what happened? Well, I do jujitsu. When it happened, you didn't stop and hold your leg or anything, did you?
I didn't even know it happened until I saw it.
That's the answer I wanted.
I didn't even know it.
You know? Yeah. A little banana bruise on you.
A little bit.
Oh.
I'll live.
Charles Johnson, congratulations, bro.
Yo, what's up? It's a legend. Man, Serra, what's up, baby?
Charles, this is your first time on here.
Yes, sir.
We're so excited to get to know you, man. I'll tell you, I was getting a little nervous for you over the weekend.
Yeah? Why? Why was you getting nervous? Now, it's a fight.
Look, a fight's a fight, and you were in the fight. You were in it. But, man, it looked like it might have been becoming a rough day in the office until you turned the tide, and in a violent, beautiful fashion.
Yeah. The whole fight, I expected him to come out strong. He's young, confident. undefeated.
Yeah.
That's how you expect him to start that type of fight, you know? And you expect the veteran like me, the guys who's been through a lot of top fights with a lot of top guys, that either you match it or it's gonna be a little rough early and then you figure it out, you know, and that's exactly what happened. I had to figure it out as the fight led on. But really it was just, you know, he was fast. I didn't see the first left hook and it landed in my eye. On my right eye, I was seeing three for 3 minutes. I couldn't see it. That right side, the right side was gone. But I had to poker face it, and he didn't attack me
Yeah.
because I stared at him in his face. I already knew, like, I couldn't see. It kept watering. I couldn't see anything. I could see him, but I couldn't see him. You know, it was three.
You
And
stayed the course though,
yeah, yeah,
even though there was a lot of heat getting thrown your way. You
yeah. I
were
mean, that's what you expect, man. All these guys I fight, man. Coach, really, these dudes is like, I call them front runners. I was a track athlete my whole life, a distance runner. And I call them front runners and guys who are basically like rabbits. You know, they get out, they start the race, and they set the pace for the people who actually run the race, you know, and the people who end
yeah,
up taking over the race and running the race. So for me, a lot of these guys are like 7 minute fighters at best, and then the real fight begins, you know. And for me,
yeah,
fighting 3 round fights, 3 round fights feel like a slugfest for flyweight because it goes so fast,
yeah,
and you fight these guys and they end up fighting a 2 round format and then they run for a round and it sucks. But that's
yeah.
what they do. They figured out how to fight me. So for me, I knew he had a very point heavy style and he was really good at what he does, kickboxing style, and I didn't know what his power was going to be like. I knew he was fast and speed is power. So, you know, I got to experience that. And but after that first punch, I was good. I was good to go.
How good does it feel to have the experience to know that when you have that kind of adversity, just to kind of know what to do in that situation and not panic, and to know enough to not let him see how you're affected. I mean, that's just all experience and fight IQ from having been in there against somebody who's got less experience, and that's the huge advantage, I guess, to having that, you know, the 9 or 10 years experience you got.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably more experienced as a martial artist than me, but as far as in that particular situation, I don't know. I don't know if he's been through adversity and been on the other side of it, but he's probably been on the offensive side of it plenty of times. He seems like he has. Obviously, he hasn't lost. So, I think it's something, a learning lesson for him. You know, in this promotion, if you get somebody hurt, you got to press him, at least try to get him out of there. You know, try to press him a little bit more. He was a little too patient, and I think that was maybe he was worried about gassing out. You know, a lot of guys know the pace I set and worry about that. So for me, it was just the nature of the fight, you know, and if he was gonna have success, it was when he had success in that fight.
You know, I as you see, I'm a bald man, Charles. I never
My
heard.
man,
I've heard of a mullet, but I didn't know
my
what
man,
you have is called a skullet.
my man. Yes, sir. You see
Let's
this
see
hat?
that. Wait, hold
Skullet
on.
gang,
That's a
boy.
total party in the back. Gullet
Yes,
gang.
sir. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's the dad gang cut, man. You know, you start having kids. You know, this
Yeah.
part start thinning out, and this part stay, and then you either decide to keep it, shave it all off, or you let it just do what it does. You know.
Let me see the back of you. Can I see the back of
I
your
got
skull?
braids now. I got
Oh, that's
braids. They braided it for the fight.
that, that's I'll tell you. Now
It's
that could
unique.
be are you a married man, Charles?
Yeah, my wife here, she
Oh, okay.
hated it. From the moment I did it, she hated it. But
Oh shit. What does she think now?
she cool now. She cool now. She liked the braids. So
I
she cool.
wonder how that would be if you were a single fella, or if anybody rocked that as a single fella, and they're meeting a girl, and they might be upset in the beginning. They might be like, "Oh, he's a
Yeah.
blonde guy. Oh my god, look at that! It's a
Hey,
skullet.
but
It's
you know
something
what,
where
Matt?
there's
A
nothing
lot
up
of
top with
times, like my
like a
hair
gray
curly in the
back.
back. It's curly, really. It's like it's nice textured, everything. So when I have my hat on, it look like I got hair.
I can't do a mullet.
And I take
According,
it off and I surprise people sometimes because they see the hair. And then when I take off the hat, they're like, oh, shit.
oh shit, is it too late for me to make a skullet, Jimmy? What do you think?
No, I would recommend it highly, Matt. I
Yeah,
think you're.
don't touch the back for about 2 months and you gonna have one, man.
Did you ever think of getting rid of all of it? Like for me, like as mine goes, I'm eventually just going to get rid of all of it. Like Matt, it's just so much easier. Do you just like having?
I did, but that's how it started. I was in Thailand. I went bald. I mean, I started shaving my head bald, but the back of my neck would have a lot of issues, my skin. So like, and when every time I use a razor or I cut it low, it's like I'll like get small bumps, but it get real irritated real bad. So that's why I didn't cut it back there the first time. And then it became like a triangle back there, and then it became, all right, I'm just gonna leave it alone. And then it became what it became over time, you know. And so that's actually why it became a skullet initially, because it was my shaving my head would irritate the back of my neck, and then I just
Okay.
decided not to. And being an artist, I was like, well, I like triangles. I'm just gonna make it into a triangle, and then it turned into this. So yeah, that was the origin of the skullet.
Say an artist. You're an artist.
Yeah, like I've been doing graphic design, like working on like Photoshop and doing brand design logos. That's what I went to college for. So all those things is like what I'm into, and anything to do with art really. But yeah, ever since I was
Charles,
in high school.
Charles, we don't know your story. When you came up, what was the first discipline that you got into with the martial arts?
So the first discipline I got into, I grew up a track and field and cross country athlete. I was an All-American from the time I was about 9 all the way till I was 18. When I was 17 and 18, I was an AAU national champion in track and field. And that was best in the country at the 3,000-meter race for 2 years in 2008 and 2009,
No
which is
wonder why
seven and
your
a half
cardio is
laps.
insane. Jesus.
Yeah, that's 7.5 laps on the track. And then I also ran the steeplechase, and I was second in the country when I was 17 and 18th. I placed second both years, runner up. And so that was my jam. But when I turned a year before I went to high school, when I was like the summer after seventh grade, before eighth grade, is the first time I wrestled.
Ah, and how'd
And
that go?
it was the first individual sport outside of track that I did. So I was in football, basketball, smallest guy on the court, smallest guy on the field, biggest heart, trying, but these dudes are just bigger than me, right? And
Yeah.
so, and I would compete. I was good. I wasn't bad. I was just too small. And so when I found wrestling, it like immediately. Like I was winning all these matches and wrestling against guys who have been wrestling for years, but like beating them with athleticism and
Yeah.
just doing double legs and very raw. They didn't really understand what I was doing. So wrestling guys close to my level. But like seventh grade, you had like state tournaments but not a high level, just like the low level, like show me games type stuff. And I won my bracket, I remember. I think it was like 110. No, it wasn't even. It was like 80 something pounds. I was 98 pounds my freshman year in high school. So it was like 80
Oh,
something pounds. I was 5'2", 98 pounds my freshman year of high school. And so I was always the smallest guy. But I wrestled varsity every year, high school, and I was all state. My last year, I finally placed at state, and that's one of my favorite accomplishments in I've ever done of all
ah.
sports because it was a grind and it was earned.
Well, congrats on that win, man. That was a very, very exciting win. And congrats on the 50 grand. That must have felt great flying home with 50,000.
Yeah, man. It's my third bonus in 6 fights, in my last 6 fights, and I'm excited about it, man. Like, cause I've been on a little tear here, man, and I'm really coming into my own as far as martial artists. I feel like, and getting more and more feeling like close to where, like, every time I go in there. I already know every time I step in the cage, it's an opportunity for me to get a bonus because the way that I fight, the pace that I push, and I've really have rarely had a boring fight in my life.
Right.
You know, outside of Muhammad Mokaev taking me down 20 times in a fight, me getting up every time, even that fight, if people were on it waiting for something to happen, so yeah, man, it was a blessing, man. I was everything I spoke into fruition, it happened. So like I was super happy about that.
And you're healthy right now. You look like you. When
Yeah.
do you want to get back in there?
Whatever makes sense. So my wife's pregnant. September 10th
Oh,
is our due
right.
date.
Oh, nice.
September 10th is our due date, so any day now, really. And so it's about just I want to be 2 weeks focus on her and make sure everything's in place for her, and at least 2 weeks of like recovery because I'm the type of person to get right back in the gym, and it's been 4 fights a year for me for the last 5 years. And I just been nonstop camp. So for me, I just try to take this little bit of time to let my body rest. Only thing sore for real is my elbows. I think I elbowed them a couple times. But everything else is fine. Eye will be clear in a few days. So
Huge win, man. Huge win. The kid was undefeated, and he went in there with the confidence of an undefeated fighter.
Definitely.
Man, it's not. No early stoppage there. That was nasty in the best way.
What did you think of the fight? What did you think of the fight? Watching the fight from the first round and second round, what did you guys think of the fight?
Watching it, to be honest, I was nervous for you. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the other kid is looking sharp as hell. But I was saying to myself, I'm like, all right, you weren't going away. You weren't laying down for him. You were fighting him. And you kept believing in yourself. But you got to, now looking back at it, you got to be like, whoa, man, the kid was coming on strong. I'm sure in your own head you were in it where I'm getting him out of here.
No, he had a very strong first round, and mostly because that first punch he landed, I didn't get my right hand. All camp, I practiced right. All camp, I'm like, his best punch is left hook, and I'm going to make him pay for it, And so when he landed, I was so mad, but then I couldn't see. For like 30 seconds, and then for like 3 minutes, it was 3 people on this side. So I just like put my left eye on them and kept,
Do you have any
did what I
any
could.
floaters now? Do you have any? Are you seeing any floaters?
No, I'm good. Everything's good. When I went into the second round, it was clear.
Hey,
when I went to the second round, it was clear. Yeah.
I feel your pain, Charles. Back in the day, I lifted up BJ. I fought BJ Penn. I lifted up his leg. He gave me a short little uppercut. Right, I felt like it was right on my eyeball. And next thing you know, I was seeing a couple of BJ Penns the rest of the fight. I hear you. Little things like that you can't really prepare for. It's like I'm in here, all of a sudden a punch into the fight, my eyes compromised. It's like, what the fuck?
And it made me nervous. It made me nervous because my last fight I fought the little guy Ramazan Tamirov, and he just really wild overhand stuff you don't see from weird angles, and he caught me with one, and it did the same thing to my eye during that fight, and he caught it right on the eye. It was like the knuckle landed right on the eye, and it was the same type of situation. So I was like, damn, when Kavanagh hit me, and it was the first time he hit me, I was like, damn, is my eye fucked up from last fight? That's the first thing I thought, like. Because I've never had issues like this, So I was like, nah, it was just good punch. It was just a good punch. And because once it cleared, I was like, oh, I'm good. Like, I was kind of nervous. I was like, oh, I'm good. Like, I'll get to my footwork, get to my defensive mechanics, whatever. But like in my head, I'm thinking about my eye. Like, damn, like, is something wrong with my eye for real? So it was cool though. It was a great punch, man. He did exactly what he was supposed to do as a young, hungry fighter. The thing is, I knew he would not be able to maintain that. I knew that there was no way he was going to beat. Nobody was beating me Saturday. Nobody in the world. The camp I put in, the shape I'm in, how I was feeling, my weight cut, my body, like no one was beating me. Whether it was 3 or 5 rounds, no one in the world was going to beat me on Saturday.
That's the attitude to have, man. You listen, no matter what he was throwing at you, you were undeterred. You were on your mission, and you got it done, bro. Congrats. We love watching you fight. Well, thanks for coming on, man. This is our first time getting
Most definitely. I appreciate y'all allowing me to come on, and hopefully next I can get somebody, top 10. I'm hoping for like a name like Tagir Ulanbekov, Steve Erceg, or somebody in that top 10. I think I've earned it. I don't think I know I've earned it. And guys have done less and got bigger opportunities to fight them type of names. So I just, whatever makes sense for Mick, moving forward. I don't know what he wants to do as far as those guys, but I'm hoping to top 10 name one of those type of guys and, win 1 or 2 more. I know I got a little bit to prove before I get a title shot. So I just want to stay active, man. And hopefully in the next couple months, I get another fight.
You against Erceg, very interesting. He's coming off that I think this decision win recently. So I got a good fight. So I hope you get that one, Charles. Come back on if you do, man, or whoever you fight next. We'd love to talk to you again.
Blessings. Thank you.
Okay, man. Congratulations, man. Great fight.
Take care,
brother.
To
meet y'all. It was a pleasure to meet y'all, man. Thank you.
And Charles, by the way, really quick, did that take a long time memorizing the Chinese? Because that's crazy.
It was a few days, but it changed. Every day it changed until that final day. And I was like saying it in the room before we left the hotel.
I was
Um,
impressed.
I talked to a couple different Chinese people they told me to condense it because I'm a metaphorical person. So I was like saying something else and it was like, no, Chinese people are more direct. So they condensed it. They made it sound like where I could drive it home correctly. And then, I love WWE, like The Rock and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta pause, you gotta breathe, you gotta pull the people in, and you gotta get your point across, right? So I was like, this is gonna be a full circle moment. That's why, I had no doubt I was gonna win that fight because I wanted to get to that speech.
That would have been worse than losing if you lost and you're like, I just memorized all that Chinese. Hey, you got it done, man. That was flawless also. Good for you.
Yes, sir, my man. Thank you, brother.
All
Thank
right,
you,
Charlie. You get
Yes,
something
sir.
booked. Come on again, please.
We'll do.
All right,
All right,
Warrior.
brothers.
Congrats. Take
Yes,
care,
sir.
buddy. All right, Jimmy, we make new friends on this show.
Yes.
I want to get a skullet.
I think you should, but from the front. Let it hang in the front.
I look like a beetle. I think that ship has sailed, Jimmy.
Yeah.
As I look at my bald head. All right, man. Listen, Johnny Walker, another one that looked like it might have been a rough night. And then, hey, he's so powerful. That leg, he kicked his leg and he just could not. It was like he couldn't stand.
Tremendous.
And next thing you know, he got a burst of energy, Johnny Walker. And he was just like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, good for him.
He needed that.
He needed that. He had dropped 2 straight. That was a great one. And Pavlovich, interesting decision win over Cortez Acosta, where he was landing, but Cortez Acosta has a fucking granite chin because he landed some really good shots. It wasn't like he was, missing. He was doing what he wanted to do. And, Waldo Cortez Acosta is a very, very durable guy. So he handed him his second loss. It was a good win for Pavlovich. And a good card.
It's funny. We were talking about getting hit in the eye and whatnot. Aljamain Sterling's a good man because he hit him with a knuckle, Brian Ortega, in the eye.
Yes.
And Herb Dean was just like, no, keep going. He's like, I don't know why you stopped.
Punch, yeah.
And Aljo's like, Aljo like felt bad. He's like,
Did he say I'm not a dick? Aljo said like I'm not a dick. Like I'll let him.
He's a good dude, man. How many other guys would have done that? But I thought Aljo did a great job, and he's not going to put himself in to take someone out. Sometimes you got to put yourselves in harm's way. Aljo is so skilled that he doesn't have to do it sometimes to get that decision, to get that win. Why should he sit there and just stand and bang with Ortega at the very end?
Right.
When he has like a shutout, you know what I mean?
He's winning every round. Up for nothing. Yeah.
But I thought he just did great, Aljo. I mean, he literally could be undefeated at 145. Yeah. He had that tough fight with Movinar.
Evloyev, yes.
Sorry, yeah, I fucked that up. But he's doing great, man. He really is. Dude, what a nice night of fights. And I'm happy for Johnny Walker. He needed that. Like
he did need that win. And Zhang was having a good first round too. Like he was actually looking really good in the first round. He was doing what he wanted to do. He was landing punches. That didn't look like it was going to be a great night for Johnny Walker. But I enjoyed him so much. I was happy for him that he won that. But if you want to see me, I'm on Netflix on Tony Hinchcliffe's did Kill Tony at MSG, and I do a set on that. So that's apparently Tony texted me. That's up today. It's up now. So if you want to see me, it's a short set. Me and David Tell and Harlan Williams did short sets on that show. It was a lot of fun. So on Netflix, Kill Tony is up now.
You know what I just had doing a seminar at my spot? I had the great Nate Diaz and Jake Shields.
And it's funny, Nate Diaz was actually at the Kill Tony. He opened up the show.
How about this? Now, look, this is just funny. Let's end with this. So he's at the seminar. I'm talking to him, and I know he's friends with Shane Gillis. So I listen. I don't do Jimmy. celebrities. I don't really care, but I do have a thing for comedy. Like you know,
sure.
So I'm like, so I told him. So he goes, you know what? And we're at the seminar. He FaceTimes him, right? Who picks up on the FaceTime? David Chappelle. Yes. So I'm like, what the fuck? So it's David Chappelle. I guess Shane's with him.
They're probably at summer camp.
Yeah. So then he gets Shane on. So he's walking in with Shane. I go, ask if he just knows who I am. See, it's weird for me, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I don't assume anybody knows who I am except for you.
I know.
So he goes, yeah, I'm here with Matt Serra. He goes, you know who Matt Serra is? He goes, yeah, fuck yeah. You know, just like, oh, Gillis. Like, oh, dude, I just yell at him. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, Gillis. I go, dude, I thought you thought maybe I was just like a Rogan, like a lookalike or something. I shouldn't do jokes with comedians.
You go ahead, you throw them in.
You know, I try to be affable, but I was just happy because, you know, I'm a fan, but then I kind of want to get out of it because I don't want to be
sure, you don't
like, I love your work, but it made me happy. The guy knew who I was, but it's not a great story, but I figured you brought up.
It was a fine story.
Jimmy, I want to plug the Matt Serra channel on YouTube. You go on YouTube or anywhere you get Geeking Out with Matt Serra on the Matt Serra channel. Anywhere you get podcasts on YouTube, it's the Matt Serra channel. And I'm having so much fun with it. Also on YouTube, please. UFC Unfiltered on YouTube. Go on Instagram. Right. UFC Unfiltered. Huh?
Yes, I forgot we have our YouTube page now. So
watch us on there, man.
We're fun to watch.
I know when you checked out.
No, I'm here. I'm just
Jimmy, you're the best. And listen, unfortunately, I'm traveling with not unfortunately. I'm going away with my wife. So I'm gonna be gone this Wednesday. You're not even seeing me Monday because it's Labor Day. So Jimmy, it's gonna be over a week till we talk. If you want to FaceTime or anything, I am here.
Okay. Or I'll probably talk to you a week from Wednesday.
All right, everybody. Jimmy, we have no fights this weekend for a change.
No. So enjoy the week off.
And then after that, we got Paris.
Yes.
Oh, Jimmy. All right. Talk to you soon. Thank you, everybody.
See you, buddy.
Goodbye, pal.